We live in a world where chaos sometimes speaks louder than clarity, where we scroll endlessly through other people's highlight reels while silently drowning in our own battles. In those moments, the question becomes louder than ever. How do I keep faith when everything seems to be falling apart? Let's strip the layers back. Let's forget the cliches for a second. This isn't about repeating mantras or pretending everything's okay. This is about the raw truth. The nights where you cried and no one saw. The days you showed up smiling even though you were breaking inside. The moments you thought about giving up, not just on the dream, but on yourself. Faith isn't about never doubting. It's about walking forward even when doubt is screaming in both ears. Here's the truth most people won't tell you. Faith doesn't grow in comfort. It grows in conflict. You don't build strength lifting feathers. You build it under weight. The hardest seasons in your life are not punishments. They are the training grounds of your faith. When life tests you, truly tests you, it's not trying to destroy you. It's revealing the strength you forgot you had. Pain carves space. And what fills that space is the beginning of real, unshakable faith. Faith isn't a fair weather friend. It's forged in the storms. If everything always made sense, you wouldn't need faith. You'd just have logic. But faith is the muscle that keeps moving even when the map is blurry and the road is steep. Martin Luther King Jr. once said, faith is taking the first step, even when you don't see the whole staircase. And I want to tell you, sometimes that first step isn't a giant leap. Sometimes it's just opening your eyes in the morning. Sometimes it's whispering, I'll try again. Sometimes it's simply not quitting. You don't need to have it all figured out. You don't need the answers right now. What you need is the courage to take the next step. Even if it's small, even if it's slow, even if your hands are shaking. The path unfolds for those who dare to walk it, even while afraid. You've been through things you didn't ask for. You've faced storms you didn't deserve, but you're still here. That's not just survival, that's purpose, that's strength, that's evidence that your story isn't over. Faith is believing that what you're walking through now is only a chapter, not the end of your book. Imagine closing a novel halfway through just because the character hit rock bottom. You'd never see the redemption. You'd never see the triumph. You'd never see the rise. Don't close your own story while the ink is still wet. You have no idea what's coming next, but you have to believe this. Something greater can come out of this. Something deeper, something wiser, something stronger. Faith is often misunderstood. It's not about denying reality. It's not pretending that everything is okay when it's not. Faith is choosing your response to reality. You get to say, yes, this hurts, and still I believe something good can rise from it. You get to say, yes, I'm tired, but I'm not done. You get to say, this situation isn't what I wanted, but maybe it's what I needed to grow into the person I was always meant to be. Faith is the refusal to give final authority to the worst moment in your life. It's not naive, it's rebellious. It looks at fear and says, you don't get the last word. Let me tell you something crucial. The people around you shape your faith. If you spend your time around people who drain your energy, mock your dreams, and fuel your doubts, you'll begin to suffocate internally. But if you surround yourself with people who believe in your potential, even when you can't see it yourself, your faith will start to breathe again. Find your circle. Find the ones who remind you who you really are. The ones who see the gold in your soul, even when you feel like dirt. Faith multiplies in community because sometimes when you forget who you are, the right people will remind you until you remember again. We hate the struggle, we run from it, but what if the struggle wasn't your enemy? What if the struggle is shaping the very strength you'll need for what's coming? Have you ever met someone wise, grounded, and radiant, and realized they got that way because of what they survived? Their faith wasn't built in a classroom, It was built in the trenches. Every scar they carry became a line in their song. You, too, are writing your song. And someday, someone will hear your story and say, if they made it through that, maybe I can too. So don't just keep going for you. Keep going for the lives your faith will someday ignite. You don't keep faith once and for all. You choose it every day. You wake up and say, today, I will believe that this moment matters. Today, I will believe that my steps are not wasted. Today, I will believe that there's more to my life than the pain I'm feeling. You might not feel it every day, that's okay. Faith isn't about feeling, it's about focusing. It's about choosing to look at possibility instead of problems, hope instead of fear, gratitude instead of bitterness. And if you fail today, that's fine. Start again tomorrow. That's the beauty of faith. It lets you begin again and again. There's a voice inside you. Sometimes it gets buried under noise, fear, or self-doubt, but it's still there. That voice that says, you were made for more. You are not your failure. You are not finished yet. Tune into that voice. Nurture it. That's your true self speaking. The part of you that remembers the dream you had before the world told you to shrink. That's the ember of faith still burning. Protect it, feed it, let it grow, because when everything else fades, that inner voice will be your compass back home. Gratitude is a weapon. Yes, a weapon. Because when life punches you in the face, when circumstances shake you, gratitude is the fist you throw back. Gratitude is how you remind your soul that even in the middle of brokenness, there is beauty. Faith grows when you can say, I don't have everything I want, but I'm thankful for what I have. My heart is aching, but it's still beating. I haven't arrived, but I'm still moving. Gratitude is not a weakness, it's a war cry. It's how you shout back at fear, you will not win. We spend so much time imagining the worst, but what if, just for a second, you imagine the best? What if the thing that hurt you most ends up leading you to your greatest transformation? What if the loss becomes the path to finding yourself? What if this painful delay is actually divine preparation? What if the breakdown leads to your breakthrough? That's faith. Choosing to believe in the possibility of a brighter future before you see it, because once you believe, the path begins to appear. So how do you keep faith? You keep walking, one trembling step at a time. You keep breathing, one shaky breath at a time. You keep believing, not because it's easy, but because you know in your soul that giving up is not who you are. You are not weak. You are becoming. You are not lost. You are learning. You are not forgotten. You are forging a path no one else could walk but you. And the faith you build in the dark will one day be the light someone else uses to find their way. So keep going. Your story is not done, and the best is yet to come.